You want to know where to put your focus this week. Gold and silver are breaking out, financials are strengthening, and breadth is widening across the market. When you can see where money is flowing, you can trade with confidence. I'm Owen Larson, and this is Market Edge, Ahead of the Trade, built to help you spot leadership in the ETFs, the sectors, and the max list stocks. On the leadership side, gold and silver continue to lead. Materials and mining are trending well, and energy is starting to turn the corner with the best setups likely coming from handles or pullbacks to the pivot. Financials and regional banks are improving, and insurance is starting to base. On the caution side, many metals charts are extended, so discipline is critical. Tech and growth remain constructive, but the NASDAQ 100 showed distribution this week. Breadth is broadening as small and mid-caps participate, while healthcare and utilities continue to lag. Now let's go to Pat Walker for the full ETF breakdown.
Weekly on the left, daily on the right. It helps us see themes, trends much clearer. And you can see on the weekly, nice weekly base here, nice daily base here and here, trending nicely. Do you see this simple base? Everybody saw it. Do you want to make money? Everybody saw it. Everybody saw this one. If everybody saw it, does it not increase the probabilities they buy too? Yeah, that's what we want. Do we own this? Yes, we do. And you can see why. Simple base breakouts and trends pay. Let's move on. Now, this is an ETF video. These are all ETFs. This one's a little bit extended. Another powerful lesson. Don't chase price. Don't chase price. You want to make money? Keep losses small. Chasing price leads to larger losses. Buy close to the pivot, the simple base break, or don't buy at all. That'll help you. Let's move on. Silver's picked up here, had a little base breakout across here. It's a little bit extended now, but note, gold and silver. Silver had a base, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And it's nothing fancy, folks. If you have to look for it, I taught this at IBD meetups for years. If you have to look for the base, it's probably not there. There we go. Basing is a little bit extended, but notice the theme. Gold and silver. They should do a song about that. Silver and gold. Okay, I'll stop. Let's move on. ERX, Direxing Energy. It's picking up. It's a little sloppy here on the daily. A lot of overhead supply on the weekly, but it is starting to turn a corner, maybe looking at some energy stocks. Gold, another gold ETF. Gold miners and gold, picking across bases and running. Yes, we own it. Look at the volume coming into it. That's what we look for. Our first buy on this was way back here too. Back in this range. Note the base. If you want to make money, just simple bases. That's what we key on. Continue on. OIH is a little sloppy here. Quite a bit of overhead supply on the weekly. Be kind of careful with that, okay? You can say, well, Pat, there's a base breakout right here. Well, part of making money is also controlling risk, right? You look at this base right here, and it made a big move just to get to the pivot. It expended a lot of buying power just to get up there. The best thing this could do is form a little handle. That would be nice. Get rid of some sellers and then take off. So something to watch going forward. But please note, quite a bit of overhead on the weekly. Moving on, XME, metals and mining. Just steady trend. That's nice to see. It's been strong for a while. What does it tell us? Hey, maybe looking at some metals and mining back here. Now it's extended. Don't chase price. Chasing price leads to larger losses. We don't want to do that, okay? But it's exhibited strength for a while, and we like that. If you're right, energy's picked up across this base on the weekly. You can see daily had the base breakout. This is why we run these screens at Mission Winners. It was showing us the theme. Hey, this is a nice base. Yeah, lifted across and working. But don't chase it up here. Buy close to the pivot or don't buy at all. Here we go. Regional banking's picking up a little bit. That looks all right. Maybe looking at some regional banking stocks. S&P 500 Bankers ETF. That one looks good too. Note the base. Lifted across here with a volume pickup. Look at the weekly chart. You look at this and say, this looks pretty good. This entire time frame right here, folks, on the daily is this on the weekly. So we look at the weekly, and again, it helps us make better investing decisions. And again, better decisions, more money. You can see the base right there, long base consolidation, lifting across the tops. Now, it's a little bit extended here, so be careful with that, okay? Buy close to the pivot at all. Financials are working, but there's no real clean entry, but it does show strength. Insurance is just kind of basing here, but note this. Clean pops across there, folks. And that line, I can take this off. There it is on the daily. I scrunched it up for you so you can see it. These are great tactics to help us understand the charts better. And again, better decision making hopefully leads to more money right there. Okay, that's why we're doing this. Also, another very helpful point for everybody, you can scrunch your charts up, but you don't see the nuances in the pattern. Spread them out just enough that you can see the price and volume relationships to help you on both the weekly and the daily chart. Better decisions, and again, more money. Healthcare ran up, peaked up here, pulled back. It's kind of sloppy here. I'd be kind of careful with healthcare. A lot of overhead supply on the weekly too. Something to be aware of. A lot of sell. Folks, overhead supply, for those that don't know, people that bought it up here, okay? And they took it all the way down. And it comes back up. And they go, God, I got killed in this thing. If it gets near my price, I'm going to sell it. That's called overhead supply. Good foundation to know about. IYR, real estate. You said, boy, that's a long base on the weekly. Yes, it is. Here's the daily. And you can say, well, I only see part of it. This part right here is this section right here. But it looks good going across these tops. And you can always do this. These are great tactics. Just go across these tops. I'll draw this line for you to help. No, that's not good enough. I'm sorry. Just a simple flat line. There it is. Basically the same line here on the weekly as the daily. What do you see here, folks? A cup with a handle. Watch this taking out these tops. What does it need to do? It needs a good market. It needs to take out that top, that line, and it needs to do it with volume. Again, why are we doing this? Better investing decision makings, understanding charts better leads to, again, better decision making, and the money comes. Let's move on. Pharmaceuticals, there's a base right here. You can see it's a deep V base, okay? Needs to push through here, and it needs to push through this line across here. And I'll draw this to help you. That's close enough right there. Just push through that line, but it needs volume. It's kind of sloppy, and also note, there's quite a bit of overhead supply. I think there's better fish to fry. There you go. We've got a limited amount of money and a limited amount of time. Let's use both assets wisely. That's why I make these instructional videos, coaching videos, is to help. Solar, lifted across the top here. It's kind of choppy. There's no real clean entry on it, but it is exhibiting some strength on the weekly. It's something to watch going forward. Maybe turning a corner in solar. There we go. Flip that coin. Consumer staples, look at this. What do we do with this? We stay away from it. That's what we do. There's nothing there. Isn't that great to know? Helps us. XOP, energy, oil and gas, picking up a little bit. You can see these tops across here. There it is. Same on the weekly, same tops coming across here. Same line, basically, folks. Simple flat line going across these tops. Now, notice the chart, though, with chart analysis. Pat, it's rallying up, but it's not doing it on a lot of volume here. I agree. What's the best thing this could do? Maybe form a handle here to absorb some of this buying in here, get rid of some of the last sellers, and then it breaks out. XOP, oil and gas exploration. There we go. Continue onward. XLB, materials. Look at the base on the weekly. And then this is the shorter section on the daily. Right there. Take out those tops. And again, my goal is this. Help people understand how to read charts, how to capitalize on the nuances, the patterns in the charts, which leads to better decision making. And again, helps us make more money and be safer too. And that's what we're after. IHI, medicine, whipping around here a little bit on the daily, but look at the nice weekly. Have you seen the theme, by the way, folks, over and over? It's like, Pat, what I'm seeing is more charts are lining up better. Yes, indicating a market That's good. It's good. It's been telling us, hey, get involved with me. Buy. But always focus on buying out of good chart patterns. Biotechnology's picking up. It looks okay. No real entry there. Utilities are lagging. See, this is dropping. So stay away from utilities. That's a powerful thing to know. Part of making money is not losing money. Key on strength. Let's move on here. Utilities lagging, like I said. Online retail, it's picking up, but there's no real clean entry with it. It's kind of choppy here on the daily, but the trend is up. So what could you do? Look into some online retail stocks. One that always comes to mind is, oh, that little company called Amazon. There we go. What do we have here? Retailing's hanging in. That's good to see. Good to see. Silver, or steel, excuse me. Basing right here. There's a low-level base right here. This is the bigger picture weekly cup forming a handle. A little loose in here. There's some gaps in here. Runs up, drops quick. Not real tight. Okay, not real tight price chart pattern. So indicates high emotions, lack of conviction to stay with it. Things to be aware of. Software's hanging in, but there's no real clean entry on the daily. Okay, nice weekly base though. Look at that. That's something to watch going forward. Technology related. U.S. oil, nothing. We do a compare and contrast. You see the weekly on this? Say, well, that doesn't look too bad. Looks like a cup and a handle forming there. And you look at this one and say, boy, oh boy, this thing's whipping all over the place. Look at that tail bar. Runs up, closes in the bottom half, third of its range. They sold into it, folks. Be careful with that. Real loose on the daily, but this time just leave it alone. Communication services doesn't look too bad, right? Little base there. And there's another base. And I'll show you something here. Here we go. What does it need to do? Push across this top with heavy volume. Again, volume is the power. Volume is the fuel that lifts the ship. Let's move on here. There we go. Airlines hanging in pretty good there. Kind of going up. Here's the weekly. And we'll take this line off. And we'll put this one on. There you go. It's just going sideways. It would be nice. It made a pretty big move just to get up to the pivot. Means it expended quite a bit of energy. It'd be nice if this could just form a handle here. Get rid of some of the sellers. And then it takes off. There we go. Better decision making. And again, money comes. IWM shows that there's some improvement in here. Not a lot of power on the daily, but small caps are even participating in here. That's good to see. Home construction's hanging in, but no real clean entry at this time. Mid-cap's been kind of steadily grinding up. Think about this, folks. It's not just the big stocks that are doing well. Small cap stocks are doing well too. Mid-cap stocks are doing well too. MDY is the mid-cap. S&P 500, 400 mid-cap picking up. It tells us the rally is broad-based. It's not narrow, and that's good. But always control risk. Focus on clean entry in the charts, backed by volume confirmation. Mid-cap, another mid-cap one here. Biotechnology, picking up. A little choppy here, though. You know, you chase price, you get caught kind of whipping around. Be nice if this could just tighten up a little bit, okay? Home builders hanging in. No real clean entry on it, but they're trending nicely. Transportation's just forming bigger tops. You can see it. You see this part right here? That's right here. So then we do this on a weekly. And what do you see? Nice long base across here, folks. Transportation. What does that also tell us? This again, another further evidence. This is not a narrow advance in the markets. It's broad-based. We just looked at a bunch of ETF sectors. There's a lot of sectors participating. That gives us conviction to get involved with it and never argue with price. I say it a lot. It's the truth. Spiders picking up here a little bit. Pulled back just a bit here on Friday on a pickup in volume. It's a little bit extended, okay, the spiders. I'll make this bigger so you can see what I'm talking about. It's already made a pretty good move. See the base breakout back there? Here's where we're picking it up with SSO. But really extended, pulling back here on a slight pickup in volume. Just says be a little cautious here with buying. There you go. And always remember this. Focus on the leading groups and the leading stocks. This ETF video shows us the leading groups, right? Areas to focus, like that. IBD 50 is kind of sloppy here. Rallied up, came down. The trend is up, okay? But you see these tail bars in here? This thing's whipping around quite a bit. So no clean entry on it really, but the trend is up in the IBD 50, and it has been up for a while. That's why we're involved. That's why we've owned some stocks for a while. And again, leaders, ITA, Aerospace and Defense, is just basing here. Needs to push through these tops. A little bit of distribution in here too, so be a little cautious with Aerospace and Defense. Let it base out a little bit longer. Continue onwards. FDN. Internet, hey, looks good. Hanging in. Hack, hanging in. Hold on just a second. There's Hack. Near the end of the list. Cybersecurity. XLI, industrial sectors. Rallied up. Didn't have a lot of volume on that bar, did it? You see right there? I'm going to make this bigger. It's a valuable lesson. Look at this. Oh, it's lifting up. Real power is a combination of price lift combined with volume. Volume's telling us. People see it, institutions see it, and they're acting on it. They really didn't go powerful with it, did they? Okay? So be careful with that. XLY is picking up consumer discretionary, no real clean entry, but it is participating nicely on both the daily and the weekly. What does it tell us? It's not a narrow advance in the markets. There's a lot of sectors that are doing well. XAR, Aerospace and Defense, I like the base formation here on the daily, and I'll show you on the weekly. There you go. Now take a look at the weekly. And again, emission winners, we analyze the charts. And you don't have to tear it apart too much. Price and volume help us make better decisions, right? Look at this. It rallies up, and look where it closed on that bar, the bottom third of its range. On this bar, it closed in the bottom half of its range. Now, on this bar, it closed in the top half of its range. But on this bar, it rallies up to old resistance and closes in the bottom of a third of its range. Again, these helps us make better investing decisions and leads to more money, but also safety too. Until it takes out this line right here, and the same thing's true. And I'll draw this to help you. Again, I taught this at the IBD meetups for 12 years. Loved it on the stage. Basing right here needs to take out that time. But notice there's some selling there. So be careful with that. Until this shows good price action with volume, just be a little cautious. Let's move on here. I want to wrap it up here. Retailing rallies up, but man, it's kind of choppy here. Here's a valuable, you want to make more money? Part of making money, again, is good risk control. Don't chase price. There were people that bought, oh, it's going. They paid up here. It's way too extended from this base breakout.
Let's take a moment to talk about the difference between buying strength and chasing strength, because that small gap can make all the difference in your results. Gold gives us a clear example. It has tested the same resistance 6 times over the past few months. Each pullback absorbed sellers, and each return built more pressure. When the breakout finally comes with volume, that is the type of clean entry we want. By contrast, look at Tesla or some of the recent crypto moves. They surged from a base, pushed through resistance, and then reversed almost immediately. Traders who bought late were left giving it all back. That's chasing. Here are the rules that separate the two. First, buy close to the pivot so your risk stays tight and defined. If the move fails, you take a small loss and move on. Second, let volume confirm and respect the handle when it forms. Price without power is fragile, but a breakout with volume is fuel for a trend. And third, ride trends with patience. Trim into strength when a stock is extended, but let your winners work. That's how compounding happens. Many modest wins, a few larger gains, and minimal damage when you're wrong. Put it all together. Focus on obvious bases, require volume confirmation, take entries near pivots, and respect extension or distribution. That is how you buy strength without chasing heat. If leadership is going to persist, we'll see it first in the max list, the institutional bellwethers. Let's look at which names are tightening near pivots, where distribution is showing up, and which charts are preparing for a clean entry. Here's Pat Walker.
Help people make money. So here's Apple. Again, this is the max list. You can say, well, I see this base across here. You also have, and I'll show you on the weekly, right across there. It's kind of a cup and a handle, isn't it, folks? There we go. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. That's institutional buying. Forming a little handle here. What does it need to do? Lift across these tops with volume. Max list stock. That's what we're looking for. And yeah, that will be on the key list. But what will it need? It's going to need good price, and it's going to need good volume. Here's Amazon. Hold on a second, we're going to go back there. That's good. Amazon was rallying up, pulled back here a little bit. You can say, well, I see something pretty neat here, Pat, and these are the things we teach. Again, I taught this at the IBD meetups. Just a clean, simple downward sloping trend line. That's the daily. Here's the weekly. Part of making money, and again, that's why you're here to make money, is understanding the chart, the nuances of the charts. Same line here, folks, on the daily and the weekly. What does it need to do? Push through here on volume. That's what we need to see on Amazon. Are we ready? Folks, I've already got a price alert set. Yeah, I'm ready. We're ready. By the way, we own this down lower here. We own it down lower here too. You see this little base right here? There's the shelf right there. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. And look at that nice trend. There we go. Important lesson for everybody. Again, you want to make more money with less hassle? Ride trends. Let the stock work for you. It will help you. AMZU, another way you can get into it with a cheaper price. AMZU, pointing that out. Same pattern. Here's the weekly or the daily. You can see right here. And I'll draw this just so you know what I'm talking about. Here you go. Dang near, look. Same pattern. To get in, you can get in Amazon for a lower price. This is $230, and this is $40. Oh, and it does plenty of volume too. It's not thin, so just wanted to clarify that. A lot of people don't know about AMZU, and I pointed out as a courtesy. Alibaba lifted up on news. Big gap up on news, all right? On heavy volume, that's good. This is something worth watching going forward, all right? Now, buying a big gap up is risky. Be careful chasing price. It would be nice if this could consolidate for several days and then lift off. Is it going to? I don't know. But part of making money is making good investment choices as far as controlling risk. Chasing price is riskier. Just, again, I want to explain all these things to help you make better investing decisions and the money comes. But I do like this going forward. This could be an opportunity someplace. BIDU, sister stock, same situation. You can see this line on the weekly that it lifted through. Needs to base here. It'd be nice if we could form a little base and then take off. Okay, there you go. Continue onward. This is Meta. This is a way to get in Meta cheaper. FPL. I pointed it's plenty liquid. Okay, no real clean entry here. As you can see, kind of meandering down around the 50-day. I do like, though, that it is basing here. If it starts to take out these tops here, I'll draw this line to help you. And again, that's my background's in education, coaching. Take out here with volume. So far, there's not a lot of accumulation, though. Okay, so be aware of that. Just want to point that out. Continue onward. Google. We talk about simple bases. See the simple base here on the weekly? Back in here on the daily? Same base. And note the trend. Look at the trend. Very important point for everybody. This is the 50-day simple. This is the 21-day exponential. This is the 8-period exponential. Great tools for making money here. Look at that trend. See the simple base? See the volume coming into it? And yeah, do we own it? Yeah, back in here. And we're just letting it work. We bought it and, bought more I do believe, and we're just letting it run. I think we sold a little bit into strength too, but we're in fine shape. Fine shape. Where's it going to go? It's an important lesson for everybody. And again, this is the stuff I taught forever at IBD meetups. Please don't limit profits, limit losses. Keep losses small, but try to ride these stocks. You could sell a little bit off to make some gains and lessen risk and lessen stress, and then let it work. Who knows where it's going to go? I'm not saying this to be sloppy, but I'm just pointing out more money is made in riding trends. More money is made in riding trends with less hassle than anything else that you'll do. There we go. Let's continue onwards here. Goldman Sachs is basing. We own this down lower. Here's the base right here. Here it is on the daily. Got a base across here, and it's just trending nicely. We're letting it work. Get back. There we go. And we own it. Is there anything to really do with it? Yeah, there is. If this starts to take out these tops right here in a good market with volume, we'll buy more. There we go. Pyramiding. Keep plowing into it. MasterCard rallied up, but then fell on heavy volume here. Kind of loose and choppy up here. Be cautious with that. MAXLIST stock. Meta. There's a base pattern right here. So you can see this better. Resting on the 50-day. What does it need to do? That needs to bounce off here with volume. Inside bar, and then it takes off again. There's no real clean entry at this time, but it's basing here. If this bounces off the 50-day right here with volume, this could be a buy. Oh, by the way, you can't catch me in a lie. You see a little green hash mark? I've already got the limit alert in on it. Right there. I got the price alert set. Another valuable lesson for everybody. Notice, the alert is not set above the highs of the day. It's set a little early. Why? You want the alert to go off that you can watch it as it's approaching the pivot. Helps you make better investing decisions. And again, what's our goal? Make money. Continue onward. Microsoft's pretty lagging here, okay? It's down on the 50-day. A lot of overhead supply here on the weekly and the daily. Just be a little cautious with that. But it does have support on the 50-day. Institutions use the 50-day. Notice this. I already have a price alert set on it, folks. You can see these clean tops. We're very pragmatic here at Mission Winners. I see it. The VIPs see it. You see it. Everybody sees it. Does that not increase the probabilities that A, they see it, and B, they'll buy? Yes. And isn't that what we want? Yes. But it needs to push through here in a good market and lift off with volume. There we go. Netflix is basing here. Got a price alert set, taking out Friday's highs. It takes out this highs, we could buy more. Just a nice long base. By the way, you see the simple bases here, here, and here, right there. Talk about money. They're knocking on at one time close to a 300-point gain. There you go. Simple base that everybody sees, and the money comes. So revisiting this, what does it need to do? It's basing across here, and it needs to take this out with volume. What's one slight negative? Well, there's some distribution in here, Pat. Good analysis. You say, well, that's a good green bar. Yeah, but then look at the selling bars, got even heavier volume. The selling volume is heavier than the buying volume. Tells us there's distribution occurring here. Tells us it needs to take out this line with a good market and good up volume. There we go. Again, Mission Winners, this is what we do. This is how we make money. Continue onwards. NVIDIA's kind of sloppy here. All right. Been a great run. We own this down here. And that's been a monster run. What do we want? We want to make money. Riding trends helps us make money. It satisfies our want. It's a little sloppy up here right now, though, in the daily chart. And there's some distribution there. Be cautious with that. Until this settles down, be cautious with buying this. Just kind of wait, okay? And yes, what have we done? Yes, we sold some into strength. NVDA, similar situation. Tesla started to lift up right here on decent volume, coming across here, and then it gives it right back. Here's why we like simple bases. Risk control. What do we want? Yeah, you want to make money. Part of making money is making sure we don't have any big losses. And simple bases help in that realm. How? Price is good above the line and bad below. Lifts off here on decent volume, comes back. You got to be careful with it. We're not day trading. I'm just looking at a day chart. That's what it did. There's also a little bit of a tail bar on the weekly. There was one right here too, and one right here. Do you see this? There's one here. It runs up and reverses down. It runs up and reverses down. It runs up and reverses down. And the same here. What does that tell us? It's met with selling. And again, we try to teach what to look for in the charts. It leads to better decision making, and it satisfies one of your major wants. And what is it? Hey, Pat, I want to make money. This is what we teach. There we go. Continue onwards. We're about done. TSLL, same situation. Another way to get in Tesla at a cheaper price. Nothing to do with it. Then we've got Visa picking up here. It's kind of forming a low level cup with a handle right here. But it's kind of sloppy. Okay, kind of whipping around. Not a lot of conviction. You can say, Pat, how can you say that? Well, in our analysis, and again, we try to teach what to look for in the charts. You can see it. Oh, it goes up, reverses down. It goes up, reverses down. It goes up, but the next bar has heavier selling volume. Goes up on less volume than it fell on. Rallies up, but not a lot of volume buying right here. Okay? What does it need to do? Take out that line in a good market with volume. There we go. And again, that's what we teach. Helps people reach a goal. What's one of their goals? What's one of their major wants? Yeah, I want to make money, Pat. Understanding how to read the dang charts helps us. This is what we do. I love it.
That wraps up today's episode. Stay focused on clean pivots, let volume confirm, and avoid the urge to chase. Subscribe and visit missionwinners.com. And as always, master your strategy, trust the process, and maintain your edge.
I am here in the middle of nowhere. There is no there, it is cold there, but I am safe.